my very simple life philosophy is you're going to do it properly. So if I'm going to do something, I give it all I've got. So I thought, you know what? I think I might have to give fighting up to truly, truly try to get rich. And that's what I wanted to do. And a lot of people want money, but I wanted money more than other people want money. And that's why I have money. So the day I retired from fighting, all I did or talk about or read about or research, all it was money. I was completely uninterested in anything else. Money, I'd fuck my girls on when I felt like it. And that was literally it. I couldn't be Star Wars. No, I didn't have time for none of that shit. It was like, no, I'll just fuck my chicks, make money. That's all I wanted to do. So just gave it the champ. That's the champion's mindset, isn't it? You give it all you got and you'll do well.
1000%, man. You talk a lot about like escaping your comfort zone and being driven by conquest. I watched one of your videos and you were talking about that men are inherently driven by having some kind of purpose, something that, we're programmed to chase something and to have something, worth waking up to fucking do. I don't know how much more eloquently to put it. And this has been shown throughout history. So why don't you expand on this a little bit more and how this has driven your philosophy for life?
Okay, so the base biological nature of man has always been to fight other men, take their land, and fuck their women. Let's cut the garbage. This is the base biological nature of man. If you've seen the movie Conan, they said, what is the greatest, have you seen that? Where it says, what's the greatest joy a man can experience?
No. Is that the barbarian?
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. They said, what's the greatest joy? I can't remember the exact quote, but they say to Conan, what's the greatest joy a man can experience? And he says something like killing your enemies and hearing the lamentation of their women. So killing your enemies and taking their chicks. Yeah. So this, and if you look at humans, go all the way back from the animalistic terms, all these empires and nations and dynasties, all it was a bunch of men getting together, walking in directions of fucking people up and fighting. And what do they do when they conquered the land? Well, they take the city, they bang the chicks, take the gold. There was an element of conquest inside of every man. Why did they do it? Because they didn't have a real reason to do this. They just started, well, let's walk over that way. Anyone gets in our way, we're going to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
The natural order of man. So nowadays we live in societies, which is fine, but I don't believe much has changed. I believe that the easiest way for a man to be happy is to conquer land or conquer the world financially, to make a whole bunch of money so that you have freedom, and to fuck a whole bunch of chicks. Yeah. I really think that can make a man happy. And obviously there's some other things you need, and you want a loving family one day and kids and blah, blah, blah. But if you give a dude $20 million and the adoration of a bunch of beautiful women, he's probably going to be a relatively happy person, especially if he's earned it himself,
I can't argue with that, man. And the way you put it, it's so simple and it makes so much sense when you say it like that. And but people are still gonna find a way to get offended by such. Of course, it's a fact. No.
The reason everyone's offended by what I say is because it points out their own insecurities.
Right.
So that's what it is. If I come along and say you want to be rich, big, and strong, and have women love you, the weak little guy with no girls is gonna come along and call me names. It's always
misogynist. Like what?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the way the world works. And it's kind of like the more of this hate I get, the more correct I know I am. I know that every single human has a biological imperative to reproduce. Every single man has a biological imperative to find beautiful women, young, beautiful women. Every single man has a biological imperative to want to feel important. The easiest way to be happy as a man is to feel respected. If you go places and men and other people show you respect as a man, you feel happy as a man. You can't be happy as a man if you're not respected as a man. So how do you get respected? Well, you pull up in a Lambo, you have 20 mil in the bank, and you got 3 women with you. Now you're respected. Like, what the fuck? So it's not complicated to me, but a lot of people want to deny the reality because they're not prepared to do what it takes to get there. So this is all it is. But it doesn't change my life. Like, if you want to sit there and pretend I'm not right, you can go to Pornhub and do what you got to do. But I'm living life for real. So.
1000%, man. And I saw one of your tweets and it fucking resonated with me. It was the easiest way to make yourself unhappy is to measure your life purely on how happy you are. A healthier mindset is to accept that you don't care if you're happy or not. I don't care how I feel because my decisions are conscious. I never want to go to the gym, but I always go. And so for me, that was a major shift in my life because, a few years ago, I found myself even drifting, towards being one of those lost people and like, I have no purpose. I don't know what I'm doing, that kind of shit. Yeah. But all it really took was slapping myself in the face and being like, dude, like having that self-awareness, dude, just fucking go to the gym.
That's
Just move. Even if you don't want to, even though you don't feel like it, society is telling us so much that you're constantly supposed to give into your feelings. But that's something that's very, I find, temporary, and we're all gonna go through feelings. I'm not denying that we're gonna experience those things. We're fucking humans. But if you just give into that shit and be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna Netflix all day or Pornhub or whatever you say, like, do you think that's gonna make you happy? Like,
and this is the thing. The basic tenet, if someone asked me to define masculinity, I would define it as feeling a certain way and doing doing the opposite, or ignoring how you feel. It doesn't matter how I feel about the gym. It doesn't matter if I feel like going to work. None of that's important. I do what I'm supposed to do. The point of being a man is ignoring how you feel and doing your duty, having honor, and performing regardless of how you feel. That's the whole point of being a man in the first place. So that's the first thing about it. And that's why how you feel isn't that important. Like, people always talk to me about happiness, and I say, you spend all your time measuring your happiness. If you're gonna focus purely on measuring your happiness.
First of all, how do you even do that?
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna really feel the differences. If I wake up and I'm a bit pissed off, but I still go to the gym, I still go to work, I still do what I gotta do, it doesn't really affect my day. It doesn't really cross my mind. How I feel doesn't have any impact on how I really live my life. And I think that this stoicism is something that a lot of men are starting to lack nowadays, because they're taught that they need to give into their emotions and feel their emotions. Well, it's actually, my bigger point about all of this is this. Who said we're supposed to be happy all the time? Who come along and said that that's the rule? Who come along and said that we are supposed to be happy? It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. We're not supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be miserable. And that's what drives you to do things. That's what this whole conquest is about. So if you were happy without any achievement, then we wouldn't have cities and the pyramids and none of this shit. The whole reason the human society exists is because we were annoyed having less than we had. So this is the normal, natural state of man, and you need to just get over it. I haven't got time for people who are going to sit there and cry about being unhappy, because happiness is on top of a mountain. So if you don't climb it, then you don't deserve happiness. You can make yourself happy. Go get it. You don't want to get it. So if you don't want to get it, then stay miserable. Just don't message me. I have very little sympathy for these kind of people. And I've been attacked before in the past about my unfair stances on mental health, but I don't think it's unfair. I just expect every full-grown man to take responsibility for himself and his life, and I think it's as simple as that.
Well, I think, like, you know, if you're looking at, you know, the people who are going to be lashing out on you or whatever, showing how they feel about your stances on this stuff, I don't think they're boiling down the message and having these kinds of conversations with you. Because even me, when I see a headline like "depression is not real," okay, that catches my eye. Okay, wait, what does this guy mean? I thought, like, depression is real. Let me look into this. And then I see what you're actually saying. Oh, he's not actually saying that depression doesn't exist. What he's really saying is a lot of what people are calling depression is a lack of some other things.
Absolutely. So feeling depressed is real. But the idea that depression as a disease will strike your mind from the sky, no matter how good your life is, and there's nothing you can do about it, is not real. You feel depressed because you're reacting to your situation. The reason jail is a punishment is because you're depressed in jail. If you were happy in jail, then it wouldn't be a punishment, would it? So you're reacting to your external stimuli. So if you're unhappy and you feel depressed, then there's something in your life you need to change. If you refuse to change that, then you will stay depressed. That's not called a disease. That's inaction. Inaction is not a disease. So I've had people come to me and go, "Oh, I'm fat because I'm depressed." I'm like, "No, you're depressed because you're fat." Yeah. Like, they got it the wrong way around. So, you know, inaction is always going to, you're always going to pay the price for an action one way or another. And this whole idea that, oh, depression, boo-hoo, poor me. And all they're doing is looking for sympathy. And I mean, I'll tell you now, man, like, if you're fat and you're home and you're lonely and you have no girlfriend and you're depressed, taking a pill is not going to, okay, maybe it will mask some of the symptoms, but you still have no girlfriend. You're still fat. Like, wouldn't you rather just go gym and get a girl? Really? Like, but laziness is, man, it's all just laziness. And this is the thing that's the truth about it. The truth about it is this: people, when they think they're being sympathetic to these depressed people, they're just enabling them.